As the winter drags on, the hotel begins to exert its influence over Jack. At first, Jack is focused on his writing, but the hotel's malevolent energy starts to unravel his sanity. The hotel's haunted history and the supernatural forces at play begin to take hold of him, pushing him toward violence. Meanwhile, Wendy and Danny are both growing more concerned as they experience the increasing eerie presence within the hotel. Danny's psychic visions become more disturbing, revealing the true horrors of the hotel. As Jack becomes more unhinged, his behavior becomes erratic, and he begins to lose control over his actions. The hotel's terrifying past starts to come alive for him. He starts seeing ghosts and manifestations of previous guests and staff members, some of whom were involved in gruesome murders. In one of the most memorable scenes of the film, Jack confronts a woman in room 237, who initially appears to be a beautiful woman but transforms into a decaying corpse, symbolizing the hotel's corrupting power. As Jack's mental state deteriorates, he becomes more violent. He finally succumbs to the hotel's influence and attacks his wife Wendy and son Danny, fully intending to kill them. Wendy, however, manages to fend him off in a brutal struggle. She escapes with Danny to the hotel's hedge maze, where they try to outwit Jack, who is now completely consumed by the hotel's power. In the final sequence, Jack becomes lost in the maze, eventually freezing to death in the snow. In the final shot of the film, a photograph displayed in the hotel reveals an eerie image of a party from 1921, with Jack Torrance's face among the crowd. This final image suggests that Jack has always been a part of the hotel's history, a ghostly figure doomed to repeat the hotel's violent past for eternity. Themes and interpretation. At its core, The Shining explores the destructive nature of isolation and the fragility of the human mind. Jack's descent into madness is a central element of the film. The Overlook Hotel, as a symbol of isolation, represents the psychological breakdown of Jack. Stripped of the distractions of society and surrounded by the vast, empty winter landscape, Jack's mental state unravels, making him vulnerable to the malevolent forces within the hotel. The idea of madness is reinforced by Kubrick's direction, which is both chilling and ambiguous. The hotel's supernatural forces push Jack to violence, but it is also clear that Jack's inner turmoil, including his guilt over his alcoholism and troubled relationship with his family, plays a major role in his transformation. His descent into madness is not purely the result of supernatural influences, but rather a combination of his psychological instability and the hotel's manipulation of his fears and desires. The theme of family dynamics also plays a significant role in The Shining. Jack's relationship with Wendy and Danny is strained, particularly due to his alcoholism and past violent behavior. Wendy is portrayed as both a loving mother and a determined protector, trying to shield Danny from the growing danger, while also being trapped in a toxic marriage. Danny, on the other hand, represents innocence and psychic power, embodying the hope for survival amid the hotel's horrors. The tension between family members heightens the film's sense of dread, as Wendy and Danny become the targets of Jack's increasingly violent behavior. Another key theme of the film is the supernatural. The Overlook Hotel is depicted as a place with a dark, violent history, haunted by the ghosts of past events. The hotel's power seems to bend time and space, trapping its inhabitants in a cycle of violence and horror. The idea of shining, the ability to perceive the supernatural, ties together the visions Danny experiences and the tragic history of the hotel. The ghosts in the hotel, including the specter of the former caretaker who killed his family, are manifestations of the hotel's dark power. Production and cinematic style. Kubrick's adaptation is notable for its meticulous attention to detail and its slow, deliberate pacing. His direction creates a sense of unease, even in the most ordinary of scenes. The film's wide-angle shots of the Overlook Hotel's corridors and open spaces emphasize the feeling of isolation and emptiness, as if the characters are walking through a vast, haunting labyrinth. The use of music is also a key element in creating the film's atmosphere. The haunting score, composed by Wendy Carlos and Rachel L. Kind, includes eerie, discordant sounds, and is complemented by classical compositions, including the works of György Ligeti, which heighten the sense of dread and unease. The music, combined with the long, unbroken takes, keeps the audience in a constant state of tension. Kubrick's infamous perfectionism extended to the performances as well. Shelley Duvall, who played Wendy, was put through intense physical and emotional strain throughout the filming process. Kubrick reportedly made her redo scenes many times, leading to her increasingly frantic and distressed portrayal of Wendy. Jack Nicholson's portrayal of Jack Torrance has become iconic, particularly his portrayal of Jack's slow descent into madness, culminating in the infamous "Here's Johnny" scene. Legacy: The Shining was initially met with mixed reviews upon its release, with some critics praising Nicholson's performance and the film's atmosphere, while others criticized its deviations from Stephen King's novel. However, over the years, the film has grown in critical esteem and is now considered one of the greatest horror films ever made. Its ambiguous storytelling, unsettling atmosphere, and powerful performances have made it a subject of extensive analysis, with fans and scholars alike debating its hidden meanings and symbolism. The film has influenced countless other works in the horror genre, and its imagery, such as the twins in the hallway, the blood-filled elevator, and the image of Jack's frozen body in the maze, has become iconic. Despite Stephen King's disapproval of the adaptation, The Shining remains an important part of both horror and cinematic history. Kubrick's adaptation is a profound exploration of psychological terror, where the supernatural and the human mind's darkness intertwine. It is a film that continues to haunt audiences with its eerie imagery, unsettling atmosphere, and ambiguous narrative, solidifying its place as a timeless classic in the horror genre.